what you can expect to get here.
3,000, 20K, 2 million.
So now please on your feet and put your hands together.
So the first thing that we're going to look at is buy to let, which is I'm going to buy a property to let it out. The challenge is with this, for most people, they buy it off plan. You know, they're told they get a discounted price if they buy now. Now, I've seen so many people that their developers don't even finish the project and they just lost their money. And I want to give you some money of like what you can expect to get here. So I want to give you the kind of things that you're looking at is really £200 plus. And I want to just give you this. If you're going to look on average, I want you to start looking, well, yeah, I can make 200 plus, like 200 to 500 per month net cash flow. This is profit. The next thing that we have got, another strategy. HMO stands for houses of multiple occupancy.
What this allows you to do is rather than just rent out as like a house, as a normal family home, it allows me to actually divide the house up into different units. So I can have like double ensuite rooms and then a communal kitchen. So they share a kitchen, but they've got their own room. Or like we have studios. So these have like little kitchenettes in themselves. Even apartments, small cottage, 1-bedroom cottage. And then there's like 8 other rooms, mixture of studios and mixture of double ensuite rooms. On a HMO or the multiple unit strategy, yeah, I mean, really on the low end, you don't want to be doing any deal that don't stack up more than £800 a month. This can go up to easily up to 2K, 2.5K. Don't want to give you the blue skies. Best case scenario, I want to give you, you know, what possibly, like what's the range here? You need to pick it based on a more realistic range. I'm going to give you 2 more strategies. And so one is rent to rent. This means that somebody owns a property and you are going to pay them a fixed rent because they're struggling. And then what you do is fix the property up, make a better product and be able to rent it out for like 3,000. So then the gap between what you're paying them and what you're renting it is your profit. Normally you would be paying the bills out of that as well. So, you know, let's say it's a 6-bed, you would allow 100 quid a room. So then in total you're paying 1,600 quid. And then you've got a 3,000 income. Obviously that gap is paying you your profit on a monthly recurring income. Let me give you one more strategy and then I want to tie them together a little bit. And that is what we call SA, which stands for serviced accommodation. What is this? You've probably stayed in service accommodation. Like a hotel is a service accommodation. The website Airbnb, that's like a service accommodation where you show up and everything's there. Pots, pans, bed sheets, all the rest of it. It's like a hotel, but it's not in a big hotel. That is a service accommodation. That's the basic of the basic explanation of it, right? Now, how I want to tie all this together is because these strategies, they do tie together. So a rent, you could get a property and do a rent to HMO. So you take an existing HMO with all the licensing and anything that someone's struggling with and you do a rent to rent on it. You could also do a rent to SA. So to have an SA, you don't have to own the property yourself. I mean, many people in our community, they own the properties that they do SA on, but a lot of them also, they rent to rent. So they'll pay a fixed rent. Now, on SA, there's a lot more in the background that goes on because you imagine you've got the turnaround of cleaning and preparing and like the stays are short. Like some people might have 2-night stay, 1-night stay, 5-night stay. You know, some of our corporate bookings, they get like 6 weeks stay. I mean, that's like ka-ching when that starts to come in, because you've not got the cycling of key handing over and all the rest of it. A lot of money to be made here, you know, and people are making 2K to even 6K. This is what people don't tell you. They just say, get your first deal over the line. But then your first deal over the line is a pile of rubbish and you just got a headache. And then you just like, forget this property thing, and then people quit. And I don't want to see that happen. So this whole gig here is about building a business and making it sustainable, not just getting one deal over the line. There's a pain in your ass, giving you a headache, and you just want to go back to your job. I've seen it so many times. Yeah, and by the way, you don't have to quit your job if you love it, but we've got someone who makes twice as much money from his properties, rent to rent actually, funny enough, than his job. He's a fireman, and he's still doing his job. He loves it, you know, so he does it, but he's still making double. Yeah, so at least then you can go to work because you want to go to work, not because you have to. So that's a bit of that there. Now let's go on to the next thing. So the next thing is one I like as well, which is what we call a flip. A flip. I break flip down into a few areas, and you'll see why in a second. First of all is to flip what we call homes. Homes are what I class as the finished article for people to be there, for families to be there. Like the finished article, move in, everything's already done, you know, fully, you know, decorated and all the rest of it as a home. People are like, yeah, I want to move in. The next category, what we say, is flats. Yeah, flats. Now, what is this? This is, again, another wonderful multi-unit strategy. So we can take some of the large houses and turn them into 2, 3, 4 flats. We've got one of our tribe members at the moment turning a big house in Nottingham into 9 apartments. And you can so then the beauty of this is, by the way, you can mix and match the strategy here. You could also mix this with the buy to let. So let's say you build or convert 15 flats, and what you could do is actually create them all on individual titles, meaning I can sell, I don't know, 5 of them, make some nice capital and keep 10 and keep getting the recurring monthly income. Or I could do vice versa. I could sell 10. I could sell them all. I could keep them all. The beauty is you've got the choices of like, what is it that I need? Yeah, what do I need? Do I need more income to pay off the loans of what I borrowed in the first place? Or do I just want to keep getting the income? What we've also got is on flips, we can have land. Yeah, so a lot of people do this. It can be done pretty quickly, but there are people who sit on land for years, you know, sometimes 10, even 20 years before they flip it. Yeah, so they'll buy up land and wait for it to become not green belt, whatever that is, whatever the non-green belt is term, and then so you now can build on it, and then it's obviously worth a lot more to a developer, so then they've made big money. Another thing as well that you can flip is deals. Yeah, so it's known in the industry as sourcing. Sourcing is a term that's used, or deal packaging, but ultimately all you're doing is you're just selling on a deal. You're flipping a deal. I'm getting the agreement that, yep, this is the price that someone can buy it for, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to flip it onto someone else for a profit. On a flip, a standard flip, which you're buying a house, renoing it and selling it, you don't want to be making anything less than 20K. But then these things here, these are very big ranges because it totally depends upon the size. I mean, I could be buying land for 2 million, you know, so I'd expect to be making a lot more. I could be buying land for 40K. So I'm not really going to put a range here because it's too vast. You just have to take it deal by deal. Yeah, deals though, when you're selling deals, you could be selling them anywhere from £2,000 per deal to £10,000. Another thing that I will just put on here, or a couple of things at least, is Development. That's quite vast. I'll break it down very easy. Like if stage 1 development is I'm just going to build a house. Yeah, just one house on a piece of land. You know, maybe one house has got a big garden, so I'm going to split the title and build another house on the side of that. Yeah, or at the back of that. That's very common. That's what I would say the first stage of development. The second stage is where I'm going to start doing multi-houses. You know, like we just got one at the minute. If you check it out on YouTube, or you may have already seen it, 6 houses. I would say that's a phase 2. And then the phase 3 is the full-on, you know, big, massive sites where like real work needs to be taking place, like, you know, building roads and streets and everything. But what we do is just take one step at a time. But I tell you something, how many people quit because they're thinking about step 348? They're thinking about, like, you know, too far ahead. It's going to kill, it kills their mindset. Yeah. And it's like, oh my God, I've got all these things. No, you just got the next step to take. That's all you need to know. And that's how we do it without all the BS. One step at a time. So please do make sure you do remember that. If you've got further questions, I want you to reach out. I want you to hit the subscribe button, but I also want you to reach out on any of the social channels. Reach out to Mark Harvey or the Real Life Group and ask your questions. What is your next move? And if there's anything else that you want to know, put it down in the comments. We'll get back to you very soon.